In SQL, sometimes you need more than just pulling data directly from a column. You need to add logic, and that is where the case statement comes in. Case lets you build conditional logic inside your query, almost like an if-else statement in programming. It evaluates conditions in order and returns a result based on the first condition that matches. This means you can categorize, group, or label your data on the fly without changing the underlying table. There are a few classic use cases. You can categorize numeric values into ranges, for example, turning a sale price into categories like high, medium, or low. You can create flags, for example, labeling whether a customer is active or inactive based on the last purchase date. Or you can apply business logic, like checking if a quantity is above a threshold to label it as bulk. The syntax is straightforward. You start with case, then add when, followed by a condition, and then followed by the result you want to return. You can have multiple when clauses in one case, and finally you close it with else for all rows that did not match any condition, and end to finish the block. A key detail is that SQL executes the conditions in order, and it stops as soon as one condition matches, so if you have overlapping ranges, the first one that matches will take precedence. This is why it is important to put the conditions in the right sequence, otherwise you might get unexpected results. The else part is optional but strongly recommended, because if no condition matches and there is no else, SQL will return null. That might be fine in some cases, but often you want to be explicit, maybe returning a default label like other or unknown. Another tip is that case works not just in the select list but also inside order by and group by, which makes it very flexible. For example, you can sort rows into a custom order defined by your own logic instead of relying on the default column order. Now, just like with other concepts, AI tools can generate case statements for you, but you need to be clear. Tell the AI what the input column is, what the conditions are, and what you want returned for each condition. For example, say categorize sale price into high when it is above 100, medium when it is between 50 and 100, and low otherwise. That phrasing will give you the exact case statement you need. Also double-check that the order of conditions matches your intent, because the AI might output them in a different sequence and that changes the result. So to summarize, case is one of the most important tools in SQL because it adds conditional logic directly into your query. It lets you create ranges, flags, and categories. It requires careful ordering of conditions, and it benefits from having an else to catch everything else. Mastering case means you can bring decision-making into your queries instead of handling it later, and that makes your SQL far more powerful and flexible.